In this video, we will walk you through how to read a closing disclosure. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify and explain the different sections that make up a closing disclosure. A closing disclosure, or CD, is a 5-page form that provides the final details of a mortgage loan. The borrower receives it at least 3 business days prior to the loan closing to give the borrower time to compare their final terms and costs to those estimated in the loan estimate. This gives the borrower time to ask you, their broker, any questions they might have. Let's walk through how to read a CD. Let's start at the top of page 1, starting from the left column under the closing information heading. Here, you will see the date the document was issued. This will help you stay in date compliance. The closing date and the disbursement date, the settlement agent, the file number, the property address, and the sales price. Under the transaction information heading, you will see information about the borrower, the seller, and the lender. Under the loan information heading, you will see the loan term, the purpose of the loan, purchase or refinance, the type of product, fixed rate or an adjustable rate mortgage, the loan type such as conventional or FHA, the loan ID number, which is an identification number determined by the lender, and the MIC number, which is the mortgage insurance case number for the mortgage insurance policy. Under the loan term section, you will see the loan amount, which is the total finance loan amount including the UFMIP charge, the borrower's interest rate, the monthly principal and interest payment, if there are any prepayment penalties or balloon payments. You will also see whether an amount can increase after closing as indicated with a yes or no. Next, under projected payments, you will find the payment calculations for years 1 through 7 and years 8 through 30 to give the borrower insight into what goes into their payments, as well as the estimated taxes, insurance, and assessments. In this example, the estimate includes property taxes, homeowners insurance, and homeowners association dues, as well as whether these are in escrow or paid by the borrower. Next, under costs at closing, you will see the closing costs associated with the loan and a brief breakdown of how this is calculated, and cash to close, which includes closing costs. We will talk more about cash to close calculations on page 3. Moving on to page 2, let's look at the closing cost details section. Under loan costs, you will see 4 sections. A. Origination charges. This includes any discount points, application fees, underwriting fees, and any other costs associated with originating this loan. B. Services borrower did not shop for, which includes the services required for the loan the borrower could not secure or shop for elsewhere. This includes things such as the appraisal fee, the electronic registration, MERS fee, the flood certification fee, and any tax service fees. C. Services borrower did shop for, which includes services the borrower secured or shopped for elsewhere. And D. Total loan costs borrower paid. This section shows the sum of the costs outlined in sections A, B, and C added together. Next, under other costs, you will see 6 sections. E. Taxes and other government fees, such as recording fees and transfer taxes. F. Prepaids, such as the homeowner's insurance premium or property taxes. G. Initial escrow payment at closing, which includes anything that is paid to the escrow account at closing. H. Other, which includes any costs that do not fit into the other categories. I. Total other costs borrower paid, which is the sum of E, F, G, and H. J. Total closing costs borrower paid, which is the sum of D and I, as well as any lender credits. On page 3, under the calculating cash to close section, you will see 4 columns. The column on the far left lists all the associated cash to close costs. Next, the loan estimate column shows the price of each cost as listed on the LE. The final column shows what these fees are on the CD. And the did this change column shows whether the cost changed between the issuing of the LE and the issuing of the CD. Next, under the summaries of transaction section, you will see 2 columns, borrower's transaction and seller's transaction. First, let's look at the items that fall under the borrower's transaction section. K, due from borrower at closing, which includes things such as the sales price of the property and any closing costs paid at closing. The closing costs from section J will reappear here as they are a charge. L, paid already by or on behalf of borrower at closing, which includes things such as the deposit or the loan amount. You will also see other credit, adjustments, and adjustments for items unpaid by seller. Calculation, which is the total due for the borrower at closing, section K, minus the total paid already by or on behalf of borrower at closing, section L, which equals the cash to close from the borrower. Let's look at the items that fall under the seller's transaction section. Due to seller at closing, which includes things such as the sales price of the property and adjustments for items paid by seller in advance. Due from seller at closing, which includes things such as any excess deposit, closing costs paid at closing, and the payoff of the first mortgage loan. Calculation, which is the total due to seller at closing, section M, minus the total due from seller at closing, section N, which equals cash to seller. Moving on to page 4, let's look at the additional information about this loan section. Under loan disclosures, you will see various pieces of relevant information regarding the loan, including the late payment policy, the name of the address you're receiving a security interest in, and whether you have an escrow account. On page 5, under loan calculations, you will see total of payments, which is the total amount the borrower will have paid after making all payments of principal, interest, mortgage insurance, and loan costs as scheduled. Finance charge, which is the dollar amount the loan will cost your borrower. Amount financed, which is the loan amount available after the borrower pays the upfront finance charge. Annual percentage rate, or APR, which is the borrower's cost over the loan term expressed as a rate. This is not the interest rate. And total interest percentage, or TIP, which is the total amount of interest your borrower will pay over the loan term as a percentage of the loan amount. Under other disclosures, you will find further information regarding the loan. Finally, under contact information, you will see contact information about the lender, mortgage broker, the buyer's real estate broker, the seller's real estate broker, and the settlement agent. At the bottom of the page under confirm receipt, there is some information for the borrower regarding what their signature entails and applicant and co-applicant signature lines. And that's it. Today, we walked through a closing disclosure. Being able to read a closing disclosure can help give you a deeper understanding of each loan transaction, as well as allow you to properly answer any questions your borrower may have. If you have any questions about reading a closing disclosure, please reach out to your account executive. Thanks for watching.